Hey, fifth grade mathers, welcome back from vacation. I hope you guys had a great time. We are on page 151 and 152. And it looks super easy today, right? It's addition and subtraction of decimals. It's just like adding money, okay? But there are some rules, and it is super easy. It really, really is, okay? But there are some rules that you need to follow. I'm going to teach it to you as we go through the sections of the page today, okay? So, the very first thing you need to look at is number 1. Look what it says. Mark under the problems that are not aligned correctly. Do not add. Guys, there are 2 things you need to know about adding decimal numbers, okay? 2 things you need to know about adding and subtracting decimal numbers. Number 1, all of the decimal points have to be in a line. All of the decimal points have to be in a line. No importa that this one has 2 numbers after the decimal, this one has 3 numbers after the decimal, this one has 3 numbers, and this one has 1. No importa. No vamos a ponerlos aquí en una línea on the side like we do with numbers. For example, if we have the number 16 and then I have over here 150, I line them up with the last number. But that's not what happens in decimals, you guys. You put them in a line. You line up the decimals, okay? The other thing is that when you go to add them, you need to fill in your zeros. 0 here, 0 here, 0 here. What do I mean fill in my zeros? Meaning, si este número aquí tiene 3 números después de decimal, todos necesitan tener 3. Todos necesitan tener el máximo números que hay después del decimal. Porque si no, podemos confundir, okay? We could add like the 4 with the 7, and then the 4, and then the 9. But that's not how you add them, okay? So you need to put your zeros. So if this one has 3 numbers, this one has 3 now, this one has 3, and this one has 3. You just put zeros after your number, okay? So it says on number 1 that we need to find the ones that are not aligned correctly, okay? So number 1A is aligned correctly because look, all the decimal points are aligned. Look at letter B. Are all the decimal points aligned there? Listen carefully. Because I'm going to give you the answers to 1. But are all the decimal points aligned there on letter B? Well, let me show you something on letter B. Letter B has 63.2, right? It has 875. Is that lining up with the decimal points? Yes, it is. And it has 91, but there's no decimal point after 91. Guess what? Cada número entero, like 91, tiene un decimal invisible. Okay, so look what we do. We put it there. And is it lined up? It is, okay, so it's perfectly fine there. Okay, and then we have this. So are they all in a line? Yes, they are all in a line. So is that one lined up correctly? Yes, it is. So it's not a bad one, but look at letter C. Can you find the decimal points in a line in letter C? Para nada. Those are not in a line, right? They're trying to line it up on the last number, but they're not in a line. So letter C, you need to fill in your circle because it does not line up. Look at letter D. Did they line up the decimals on letter D? No, guys. Those are the 2 examples of how not to do it. So color it in, color your little bubble in. But look at letter E. Is that lined up? Yes, it is. The decimal points are in a line. So remember that. What have we learned so far? You must line up your decimals when you are adding decimal numbers. You're not lining up with the last number. You're lining it up with decimals. Number 2, you have to fill in your zeros when you're going to add. And we're going to see that on number 2. Okay? And number 3, every whole number has a decimal at the end of it, even if it is invisible. Okay? So look at number 2. Find the sums. Find the sums. Okay, so look at number 2. I have mine right here, letter A. They lined up the decimal points for you. Line, 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 line. Okay? But now we need to fill in our zeros. This one has the maximum number of zeros here. That's 3. So I'm going to add 1 more here. I'm going to add 2 more here. And I'm going to add 1 more here. That's going to help us, guys, to add. Because look, 0 plus 0 plus 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 0 plus 2 plus 9 is what? 15. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. 19 plus 8 is 27. I know one of you is going to tell me if I'm not adding these right, okay? So just text me. I'm sorry if I do. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 19 is 20. 20 plus 2 is 22. 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 7 is 10. Okay, so your answer is 102.754. Don't forget to put your point in your answer, okay? But see how these zeros helped us so we didn't get confused about what we're adding up, that they're all in a line now. So that's what you're going to do on number 2. But look at letter F. This is where you have to pay attention, you guys, or we are going to fail on this mission, okay? We do not want to fail, right? We want to do amazing. So look at letter F. I'm going to teach you how to line up your decimal points when they don't tell you how to write down your problem. You have to write this again. You have to write this problem again vertically, okay? You can do it on the side of your paper because there is room on the actual book, okay? Look at 0.27. We're going to put 0.27. Next number, you're going to line up the decimal point. 6 point, see how we're lining it? We're lining it, okay? We can't put this one over here. We're lining it from the decimal point. 6.423. Okay? Next one, 17.1. Okay? The 7 is under the 6. The 1 is by itself because we're going by the point. 63.52. 78.963. Okay? Now, we fill in our zeros. This one has the maximum number of 3, so we're going to put 1 more 0 here. This one's good. We put 2 zeros here, 1 0 here, and that is all we need. And then we can add it together, right? 0 plus 3 is 3, plus 3 is 6. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 2 is 11, plus 6 is 17. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 5 is 13. 13 plus 9 is 22. I put my point. Did you see me put my point? You got to do the same thing. 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 7 is 15, plus 3 is 18, plus 8 is 26. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 6 is 9, plus 7 is 16. 166.276. See how we had to line up our decimal points. Okay? Go ahead and try letter G. Line up your decimal points. Then I'm going to show you how I lined up mine. Okay? So we can make sure we line them up the same way so you can make sure that you're understanding. Go do it. I'm doing mine. Make sure you fill in all your zeros that you're going to need to help you. Okay, look. Tell me which one of these is correct. Is it this way I set it up or this way that I set it up? It's this way, right? This is a big fat no. We don't set it up like that with all the numbers lining up here. When there's decimal places, we line up our decimal places. 0.163, 9.2. You line up the decimal places. 8.72. 11.3, lining up the decimal places. 72.004. And I fill in my zeros where I need them so you can add them. And I know you can add them by yourself, so I'm not going to do that part for you, okay? But that is your lesson for today, you guys. We are doing page 152 as well, but that is what you're learning today as your new concept, and you really need to make sure you follow instructions. So let's go over it again. Number one, when you're adding and subtracting decimal places, you have to line up the decimal places, put them in a fila, okay? Number two, you must fill in your zeros to help you know which numbers you're adding together. And there was a third one, right? Number three, whole numbers that don't show a decimal place always have an invisible decimal place after the whole number, okay? If you look at, oh, this is another good one. Look at number three. Look at number three. I'm going to show you how to do letter A, and I'm going to show you how to do letter F. If you follow the rules that I just taught you, you're going to do great. But if you are ignoring the rules that I just taught you, well, you are in big trouble. Okay, because then you're going to be so confused. And guys, especially right now while we're in virtual classes, I cannot have you guys looking at me going, no, because I don't think I need to fill in the zeros. I don't really need those. No. Okay, you need the zeros. You need to listen. You need to follow instructions. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay, let's look at letter A. Now we're subtracting. The decimal places are lined up, but what do we need to do? There's our second step. You gotta put in your zero, you guys. If this one has 3 numbers after the decimal place, this one has to have 3 numbers after the decimal place. Because watch what's about to happen. This one's a piece of cake. 3 minus 0 is 3. 4 minus 7, let's make that 14. We'll make this 4. 14 minus 7 is 7. 4 minus 1 is 3. Don't forget your point. Don't forget your decimal point, okay? 0.373. It's not 373. If you forget that decimal point, it makes a world of difference, okay? But look it over here. Look it over here. Letter F. They line up your decimal places for you, here and here, but they didn't do one thing that you have to do. It's your responsibility. What is it? Put the 0. No estoy bromeando. Because mire, if you don't put that 0, you're going to think, oh, I can just put a 5 here. And just subtract de nada. No, you need to be borrowing. This 0 has to be there so that this is 10. This is 8. 10 minus 5 is 5. 8 minus 7 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. Don't forget your decimal point. 1.15. The answer is not 115. The answer is 1.15. Okay? So I lined up your decimal place, pardon, because it wasn't in there. I lined up your decimal place for you. So go ahead and try letter G, please. Try letter... I don't want to do letter G. Do letter H. Do letter H. Pardon for not letter G, letter H. Make sure you're lining up your decimal places correctly, please. And we're going to check it together. But go ahead and do it, because I want to see that you got the right answer, too. Ready? What do we have to do here? I lined up my decimal places, right? So make sure you have it like that. And then I have to put 2 zeros here, right? Gotta do that, you guys, because then watch what's going to happen. This becomes a 10. This becomes a 9. This becomes a 2. 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 6 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1 point. Ooh, look what we have to do here. 14 1. 14 minus 8 is 6. 11 minus 9 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 126.137. If that's not what you got, look at it. See what went wrong. Okay. You did not need to make this 3 because you did not need to borrow for here. So be careful with that. Okay. There you go. Let's see what else we have here today. Go ahead. Don't do the number 4. I'm not going to make you do number 4 today. But I do want to remind you, after a long vacation, a good one, I'm sure, look at number 5. Letter A. It says circle the greater decimal in each pair. Circle the greater decimal in each pair. So in this case, is it 0.4 or 0.04? Well, how are we going to know? Remember what I taught you before vacation. Guys, if this hand has 2, that's the maximum number after the decimal point. This one also needs to have 2. Make sure you add a 0. So now you can tell me what's bigger, 40 or 4? Because it's 0.40 or 0.04. Which one's bigger? But you're only going to know that if you put those zeros like I told you to. So make sure you're doing that for B, C, D, and E as well. Okay? Number 6 and number 7, number 8, and don't do number 9. But number 6, number 7, number 8, you guys can do by yourself. Those are fractions. We are like so experts of those now. But don't do number 9. That's fine. You can cross it out and skip that one for today. Okay, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm here to help you. And welcome back.